truth live from where they create. Sylvia speaks, no filter, no buffer. Courtroom drama couldn't get any tougher.
When the gavel's first bang, to the witness stands tears. Sylvia's lens captures all your hopes and fears. Uploading justice one trial at a time. Tune in every moment, edges sublime.
Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Faces tell stories, the courtroom can't hide. Sylvia's insights cut through the divide. From jury talks to the lawyer's secret. In Sylvia's world, you know you'll need it. Behind the scenes where whispers are loud, her lens reveals the truth in the crowd. Courtroom secrets laid bare to see. Stay curious with Sylvia Spree. Every objection, every sharp retort, Sylvia's there to give you the report. Exclusive footage no one else can snag. From catchy headlines straight to the tag. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show.
Hey everybody, hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We have our guest here. Before we get started, let me introduce him, Mr. Lamar Gardner. Hey Lamar,
How you doing, Miss Sylvia?
how you doing?
I am well, thank you. Just doing a little work. Took a break from working a little. That's it.
Okay, thank you for giving me the time. I won't keep you long. I won't keep you long at all because I know you're a busy man. But did you get a chance to breathe since the YSL?
I have. I absolutely have. This month of December, I spent most of the December in Jamaica. And I came back.
Really?
I came back after Christmas.
Wow. So how many weeks was that?
I think I spent like 2 weeks in Jamaica.
2 weeks in Jamaica? Okay. All right. Mr. Gonzo, you well rested?
Well rested.
Well rested. So
ready for what's forthcoming.
All right. Okay. So, question: have you had an opportunity to see what's going on in the second half of the YSL?
Unfortunately, I have not. But you know what? I knew that question would come up, and right before you brought me on, I was sitting here looking. I think they had a hearing like 2 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
I was just watching that hearing, but I haven't. I had to step away from YSL so that I could focus on other work.
Okay.
You know, YSL it consumed us for a long time. So, you know. So
you didn't get a chance.
I haven't had a chance to follow up with the second half, YSL 2.
What's your opinion on it? That one?
If I'm being honest, I don't know. I don't. The two who's left. We have Eppinger and we have
Garlington and McMullen.
Okay. Question: do you know has either of them been offered a plea?
They all been offered a plea.
They all been offered a plea. I think Eppinger is already serving quite a bit of time, right?
45 years.
45 years. Uh, I mean, I'm not saying just take the plea because you're already serving 45 years, but I mean, I don't think that these three. I don't know if I'd want to see these three take it to trial. To be honest, Eppinger. I mean, we've seen a lot of the evidence, the video evidence against Eppinger, and that doesn't mean anything. I mean, even though it is damning, um, he's. I mean, I guess he doesn't necessarily still. He doesn't have to say, okay, just because I got this video, I'm taking this plea. But I wouldn't put it before a jury. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's different now when you sitting by yourself. You're not sitting with like a team of defendants, right? So
Hmm.
you pretty. I mean, it's one, two or three of y'all. I mean, I think I would surmise by the time of start, someone else would drop out. Garlington. I'm a little surprised that Garlington is going through with it. Um, I am and I'm not. Um, Garlington, of course, his name came up quite a bit in
Hmm.
YSL one, um, and so I don't. Even with Garlington, I probably still wouldn't take it to trial. I'll be real hesitant if I was one of those defendants left to really take this case to trial, especially with the three whom are left, Eppinger and Garlington together. I don't know if that'll fare well for them in the end. But
But
hey, that's just
McMullen is not that harsh.
right. That's why I didn't
For
really
him.
name McMullen,
Mhm.
because McMullen is. I don't, to be honest, going through the evidence, out of all the evidence, I don't really remember much about McMullen.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Give me a nickname. Do you got a nickname?
Nard. That's his other
Nard.
nickname.
Okay,
Nard.
Nard.
Not
Okay,
the
that's
first, not the Nard Minder
you got
Nard, the other
Mender
Nard.
Nard. Okay, some second Nard. Okay. Second Nard. Um, I don't know, and it's fleeting from my memory now, but I still don't remember much. I very remember a little about Nard too, but not much.
Okay. What about your client? Because a lot of people were saying your client name was not mentioned much at all, but he ended up taking a plea.
That was a little surprising. I mean, I agree. We didn't. I think what we had early on maybe was like this petty drug charge, and that's pretty much what I handled when we first began. Right after jury selection, we first started trial. Some of the first witnesses were for a drug case that my client had, which wasn't much at all. I think I showed that it was mainly just like for one, a roach and a bag full of
Yeah.
tobacco, mostly with a sprinkle of weed. And then
Yeah.
we have that murder case, but we all saw how that turned out. I mean, it was. I mean, he couldn't be identified, to have killed Mr. Drinks, and so he did not have a lot of evidence against him, but he at the same time it was we never push pleas on clients. It's their decision to take a plea, and
Hmm.
although we felt confident in his defense, we also felt confident in his decision to take a plea. We may not we may not be the ones to force him to take it, but we do support our client's decision to plea. But I
But
mean, the
what?
evidence against him, we saw that it was none.
But couldn't you convince him? No, hey, we're winning. Don't do it.
I could convince him, but I think you have to also even Mr. Bruce Harvey was the lead attorney, so I'm co-counsel. He hired me on. So although even if I didn't feel if I wasn't aligned with Bruce or didn't necessarily feel like okay, you need to hurry up and take this plea, I still would have to, I can't backdoor lead counsel in any
Gotcha.
decision
Gotcha.
that him and the client has discussed.
Mhm.
It would I'd be out of line if I backdoored him. Now it'd be different if Mr. Nichols would come to me and like, what did you think? And he did, and I expressed how I thought, but ultimately, still, it was his decision.
Yeah, when I spoke with his wife, he was tired of just going back and forth and just wanted some sort of resolution. And you don't know how the jury is going to vote,
Right.
so you just rolling the dice and trying to figure out what to do and what not to do. So it is
And
what it is.
I think when people look at the case and they see the results that Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Steele were able to get, its trial wouldn't have been that truncated had all the defendants stayed. We would still be in trial. The defense had a number of witnesses they would call, so we would still be in there. So a lot of those guys, I mean, they were exhausted. Going on 2 years,
Yeah.
getting up early morning, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, like that's exhausting. And so they fought for a long time and they fought hard. But we all do grow weary.
Okay. Right now, Garlington is facing the drinks murder now, since everybody else didn't get charged. I mean, didn't get convicted of it. So he's the only one left that could possibly get a conviction on the Garlington. I mean, on the drinks case.
Drinks. I doubt if he'll get. I doubt if he'd get a conviction on the drinks case. That, like I
Okay.
said, that was our case. We studied that case. I studied that portion of the case because we were coming up. We were probably like a week shy of starting the drinks case before we actually took a week or two shy of taking starting the drinks case before we played out. And I'll tell you, in that case, honestly, you can't point to one person who they have alleged to have committed that murder or been a part of that murder. Not drinks, not Nichols, not Stillwell, not Miles. No one that they're accusing of killing drinks can be associated. I mean, there's no evidence associating any of those with the drinks murder. I mean,
So
you
that's
saw the
good thing.
video,
Yeah, I
huh?
saw the video. That's a good thing. So then that Garlington does have a great chance then.
In every respect, he does. He does. I couldn't remember what all Garlington was indicted on. I know it was he originally. I knew his name was he was mentioned in the drinks, but I couldn't remember what else he had facing him. I just know Garlington. We heard a lot of his name come
Yeah.
up. I mean, come up quite a bit. Um, so
Yeah, definitely. And how was your practice since this case? Are you private practice? Are you part of uh the
no,
public defender?
I'm private practice.
Okay. Did you have to put up a lot of your cases during this time?
To be honest, I was able to get a lot of cases resolved during this time. So a lot of
Oh,
the DA's offices around Georgia, they knew we'd be in trial for a long time. So, believe it or not, I was able to get some great deals. I was able to get a lot of cases dismissed, felonies reduced to misdemeanors. A
hmm.
lot of felonies resolved through pretrial diversion. Like I said, I was able to get a lot, and my practice didn't take a hard hit either. I do a lot of civil work too. So I do like premise liability, like apartment shootings. And so my practice, it didn't take a hit financially. I wouldn't have let it.
Okay. Okay.
I built my
What?
practice to where it's that I wouldn't have let it fall financially for one trial.
Yeah. Well, we had an opportunity where my group in here had an opportunity to watch you at work because we never got a chance to see you during the YSL, only a little bit. So, but we got a chance to really see the real Mr. Gardner. And
Hmm.
a lot of us was pretty impressed with you, yes, on Friday and during the days before the verdict came. But one of the things the my chat was talking about how well you did in basically humanizing your client, because we saw that he was guilty. We saw it, right?
Hmm.
But the way you made it, a lot of people started feeling had some sort of sympathy for him. So how did you feel about that particular the case itself for you?
The case was a This is the thing. Going in, we knew that there were some difficult facts. We were caught on camera committing this act, and so we knew, for one, we had to come up. If he wanted to go to trial, we knew we had to be clever in our defense. Now, it was this wasn't necessarily a domestic case. They made it a domestic case. It wasn't. The girl involved wasn't necessarily the victim in this case, but because they made it one, um she was just this my client really was deeply in love with this girl, really took care of her like it was She had to do absolutely nothing. But the narrative that I gave about, she stringing along, she did a lot of that. She did a lot of, going back and forth, like, you're my man, I want you, and then to I don't want you, to you're my man, I want you, till I don't want you. And and then, of course, you just can't toil with people heart, mental, like, um and so, and I'm trying not to say too much because we still have sentencing coming up, right?
I know, I know, I
But
know.
it was, like, let's just say it was a difficult case to really come up with a theory for it. But I will say this: our theory, it worked. And I know that you may think, "Oh, how did it work?" And they found him guilty. Well, it's always good to talk to the jury after the fact, right? Because
Hmm.
although I knew that a lot of the witnesses that would come and say, okay, I knew I was disproving the state's theory that they were broken up and he was this jealous boyfriend, right? The state necessarily didn't really know the case. The prosecutor had only been on it a couple of weeks, and all the evidence that was in this case, they didn't have time to digest it, as we had. We were ready to take this case out 2 years ago, but and we didn't look at it the whole time we were on YSL. So about 3 weeks ago, we found out we were going to trial. We pull it back out, right?
Hmm.
Um, the jury in this case, was really in tune with the defense. Um, they actually bought our narrative, and they told us that we would actually going to get a manslaughter verdict. However, on cross examination, my client towards the
Oh,
end
you
of
breaking
cross,
up.
he went
You're
into this
breaking
train.
up. You're breaking up a little bit. I don't
Just
know.
one moment.
Okay. Well, I don't want to miss anything he has to say on this part.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it looks like you're frozen. There we go. I think you.
Okay.
All right.
Until we saw at the end of cross, my client kind of went in this trance, and um, according to him, after the fact, he had God told him to tell this truth, right? And
Hmm.
so where we have been prepped, he was ready for anything that came his way. He knew how the prosecutor. I had advised him on how the prosecutor was going to come at him, insulting him as soon as she had a chance on cross. Every little thing he was prepared to do and say. He was ready. But somehow he had a moment on cross with God, and God told him to tell this truth that he had never told us before. And I don't know if you remember, and I started at some point started objecting to, like, questioning, like, it's
Hmm.
argumentative and such, trying to get his attention. But I think that he even knew what I was doing, trying to, like, stop him. But it was ultimately, he felt like God told him to tell the truth. I was pissed because I don't think we had to get on the stand to tell that, but I think in some way, I meant he wanted his family and the victim's family to know what happened that night. Was not my idea. It was not something that I had recommended. This is a guy that we prepped well to decide whether or not we was put him on the stand, because of course it's not criminal defense attorneys. We don't put our clients on the stand unless we really need to. This was a case that we needed to tell our story,
Hmm.
and we needed him to tell it. And like I said, this was a brilliant guy. This was no idiot, mind you. Like, really brilliant guy. But like I said, is somehow he had this guy convicted him on that stand, and that witness stand, and he'd start telling stuff that I'd never heard before.
Wow.
And talking to the jury said, even the jury told me that in my closing arguments, even with the guy being on what was shown on camera, and even him making that confession on the stand, that my closing still convinced him that it could be manslaughter. That's why they deliberated 5 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Because they could have
wasn't,
did it right away.
could have did it right
Yeah.
away, but they were still convinced that it was manslaughter. But ultimately, they fell back on what he had said on the stand. And but for
What part do you think that really helped to convince them to go more towards the prosecution? Was it when he said he had the gun or look into the guy's eyes? Which
look
one
into the
was
guy's eyes, because the past incidents, the prosecution talked a lot about like those prior difficulties, like when he
it?
had the gun outside with his mom, all that stuff they were showing. The jury wasn't buying that. The jury told them in the back that they spent too much time on the past, and they was like, and Mr. Gardner told y'all that this was just to inflame the jury, told us that it was a waste of time, and then they get that jury charge and say, hey, these prior bad acts, that's not evidence, right?
Mhm.
So they necessarily wasn't with the state at all, but it was the watch the life go out of his eyes. And then he
Okay.
said, and he also said on cross that when he went up to the door to chase Gabby, like he tried to get in the door. Well, that's something that not even the state's witnesses testified to, and that's something he said, and
He
that's what
said
got
it.
him. That's what
Yeah.
got him the attempted murder conviction. That one statement.
Yeah, because they did not say the mother when she got up there, she never said because when they asked her, did he try to bang on the door? Did he ring the doorbell? She said
They
no.
said no. He got on the stand at the end and said he tried to get in the door, and they told us that's what convicted him. I don't know what he was thinking on that stand. I truly don't. I
Do
don't
you
know.
feel he wanted to go to jail?
I
I
do.
mean, he was going to
I
go to
think
jail
that I
regardless.
think that he was going to go to jail, but he wasn't going to get life.
Yeah.
He was going to get a mess. He's already served 5 years. He was going to get 5 to 10 years. Judge was only going to give him 5 to 10 years, 10 at the max. You know,
He would have been out within what,
and
three,
he
four
and he
years.
and he would have been out. You
Yeah.
know, and it's just for the life of me, I still, and it's bothered me this weekend. Because for the life of me, I still can't understand why he sabotaged his own case.
Do you feel that because their relationship was gone? And did he have another girlfriend? I was trying to figure out why did
No,
he have somebody else?
no, that's what everybody think. They thought that this guy, he had all his money and all that he would have. No, he
Multiple
really
women.
wasn't. He really was in love with her.
Wow. And they painted him as an abuser, like the relationship that he couldn't have. Was he an abuser according
They
to them?
abused. They had a really toxic relationship,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
although it's something that the majority of us wouldn't agree with, that's kind of how they operated. And I'm not saying it's right, but that's how they operated. They were abusive to each other, like
It seemed
verbally,
like
emotionally.
I say it seemed like, and then you know what really got me is when she talked about how she was still contacting him on the WhatsApp. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and when she wasn't supposed to, there was a TPO out,
Mm-hmm.
but she still was contacting him because she
But the
wanted money.
TPO was against her first baby daddy.
Oh, it wasn't against him?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Mm-mm. It was the first baby daddy. But
okay.
they had when they had the battery charges, and in bond, they got the conditions that you ain't supposed to communicate with it. I mean, they can't communicate with each other because in one
Yeah,
case,
yeah.
both of them were like the victim and the defendant, right? So they couldn't contact each other, but they still did. And like I said, even when we argued, even the day before, I mean, the day of the murder, when she texted and she was like, when you act like you act like we together, we ain't together. But then the day before, it's like, I love you,
Yeah.
So it was always her building them up, and then she gets something, but then she knocking them down, building them up, knocking them down, like, and it was just a pattern of that. And
Mhm.
in a lot of relationships where the man is the breadwinner, he's the dominant one. A lot of times that does come off as control, right?
Mhm.
But I don't know, I don't want to be condemned for this, but I get in a lot of times, like, that's just the reality of those type of relationships where the man is the breadwinner, and the woman, really, she's just a made woman. She's just been taken care of, and that's what this relationship was like. That's not my type of relationship, but that was one that she got. That's how they operated in their relationship.
And then the thing is, she could to me it seemed like she was manipulating him and trying to control. They
Oh,
both was controlling each other. That's
oh,
what
for
I saw.
sure. Oh,
I
for
saw
sure.
both of them controlling each other.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. They absolutely were. That
And then
was
you know what, really too. Remember the juries look at the when the mother was standing there trying to get her inside the house. She's standing there like, if you're scared of this man,
right.
you would have been like getting away from him, like, oh, I'm going in. But no, she was like bucking too. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
The
you
jury
know.
didn't think she was scared. The jury also, the reason, another thing about that self defense, I mean not the self defense, the attempted murder charge that we really would have beat but for his testimony on the stand, is that when she said that she heard a clicking, they didn't believe that she heard a clicking because all those gunshots, then her ears were obviously ringing and she wouldn't have heard a click. So it's a lot of testimony they didn't believe about her either.
Yeah.
And one thing they said about it is that, and let me tell you this, they did not believe, it wasn't that they didn't believe my client. They actually believed my client, but based on what he said. But they didn't believe Miss Gore at all.
Yeah. But question, why did you allow him to get on the stand when you guys, to me, was like really winning? But then when he got on there, he just like crushed everything and just like,
Well, this is the thing that, and it's almost like self-defense. So we arguing manslaughter, and that's a lesser included offense. So just like you would argue self-defense, you wouldn't necessarily argue self-defense and not put your client on the stand. The jury in these cases, and it's a hard decision a lot of times. The jury wants to hear a story sometime. If we're asking for something lesser, a lot of times the jury want to hear from the defendant. This is the thing, and this is what we keep saying. We were not dealing with a person who was an idiot who wasn't trained. He was he was very well prepped. He wanted to sabotage his own case. That was his. I mean, that was obvious on direct examination. I think we ended my direct, and it wasn't and it wasn't rehearsed this way, and it wasn't. I mean, but we ended it in tears, and so that's when the cross started. If you remember on direct, he did well on direct. It wasn't
good.
until he got on cross, and then towards the end of cross, even the way he stared at the prosecutor, he knew not to. He knew to treat her with the same respect I did, and he did. So, and this, like I said, this isn't something that we just worked on the night before. When we found out we were going to trial 3 weeks ago, we picked right back up with it.
Mhm.
A lot of time for him to be prepped, and I wouldn't have put him up there if he was not ready. He's
Mhm.
not ready. But the one thing about it is I knew something was going to go wrong. I woke up that morning sick as a dog, and I just couldn't shake it. And it wasn't sick as far as like flu or anything. It wasn't anything that medicine could fix, right? It was
Mhm.
just my gut knowing that something would go wrong. And I asked about 5 times, "You sure you want to do it?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I got to tell my story." But that last tell my story was just something about that was just a little eerie for me, right?
Mhm.
And so like I said, once we were on cross and towards the end, when he had this moment, this revelation on the stand, and I knew then it was over with. I was fuming.
Mm.
You know.
Question, did he see the families hugging each other? Did he see that
I
moment?
don't know if he saw the families hugging each other,
I was gonna say
but
maybe that's why he wanted to do that because the family was reconciling. It was like they were consoling one another. You know what I
right.
mean? So,
He called me that night afterwards, and he told me, he was like, "Mr. Gardner, you did an amazing job. There's nothing else that nobody else I would have wanted representing me." He said he was at peace, and it was just had to do what God told him to do. You
okay,
know, and like I said, although I am pissed because, of course, I wanted that win.
you wanted to win.
A
Yeah.
manslaughter verdict is definitely, that would have been a win.
Mhm.
That was our plan. And we worked really hard. This is a case that I was able to use. We were able to get a juror removed. It was a juror that we didn't want from the beginning. But she slipped up and got on. We were supposed to we had her plan to strike her, right? It was between her and someone else, and I always wanted her stricken, and we forgot to come back up to her and strike her. So she ended up being on our panel. But I had to go. She couldn't, and she had to go because she couldn't even look at an autopsy report without crying, and so of course we argued that, of course, if she's not able to look at all the evidence, then she's not able to come to a decision on a just verdict. And so she's one of those ones. If you're already looking at pictures of a decedent's body and you're fainting and crying, then that tells me that my client doesn't have a fair trial with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get her removed. I had to get her moved, and we did. We did get her moved.
You had that opportunity, you took it.
Yeah, for sure. I and like I said, I still dwell on this. Damn, it could have been a good win, but it really had me going forward. In a lot of cases that I have forthcoming, and like clients, a lot of times they want to testify, but like in this instance where I thought this whole time, 3 weeks, this my client is going to get up here, we're going to do well.
Mhm.
I didn't never expect that. It was stuff said that I'd never heard before. You
And it
know,
was hard to rebound
and
from
it was
that.
hard to rebound. One rule that we had going in is that never tell me anything new from that witness stand.
Hmm.
We knew that was something we knew. I don't give a damn if I ask you something and you think it is the answer is something else. I haven't heard that answer. It's something you haven't told me because he know what he's told me and hadn't told me. You know, um, and so when that came out, like I said, I was defeated. And it just in that moment I just deflated sitting in my seat. I knew it was over when we had a fighting chance. And then like I said, listening to the jury afterwards, we would have won that trial.
So now what happens now? Educate us on what happens. What's the next step with
So
this?
now we have sentencing. The judge, he'd have to be sentenced to life. The judge has discretion to sentence him to life with or without parole. The
Okay.
felony murders they'll vacate. The aggravated assault charge will merge into the murder. The attempt, he could likely get up to 30 years for attempt, but the judge can grant him life with or without parole.
Question: did he get a plea deal?
Life without parole.
That was the plea deal.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, okay. So now it's a
It
possibility.
could have been, but they would have if they would have entertained a life with parole. That's the only other offer they would have entertained. But he wanted to take it to trial, so.
So now, with everything that was given during trial, it's so the judge is the one that has to make that decision whether with parole or without parole.
Hmm.
And what are
And the
some of
judge would basically go off testimony in trial, and he can basically go off what the what the
the
jurors
jury?
what the
Okay,
jurors
so the
stated
jurors
too.
was there. He was there when the jurors was talking to
Oh
you.
yeah, he was in a jury. He was
Oh,
in back when the jurors was talking to us for sure.
so then there is a possibility of with parole. Then
Yeah, that's a
okay.
possibility. Yeah, he could get it with parole too. He was back there when we were discussing it. And Judge McAfee, that was the first time we tried a case in front of any of us had tried a case in front of Judge McAfee. And it wasn't bad. Judge McAfee actually from that trial, when that Friday when we were coming in before closing and right before we were doing a charge conference, he was like, "Mr. Gardner, I want you trying more case. I want you to come try some more
We heard
cases in
it.
my
Look,
courtroom."
we
He did.
heard
I was
it.
like, "No." I was like, "No,
Speak,
I'm
look,
done."
speaking of hearing things, did you guys know you guys was on the mic, hot mic?
Absolutely not. We would have. No, we didn't. I obviously at the end didn't give a damn once I found out, but at the time, no, we didn't know that we were on the hop.
You should have seen your face when you found out you was on the hot mic. We were trying to help you. We were trying to.
You didn't try to. You could have texted me.
I did text you. I
Oh yeah,
did. I
you
was trying to text you, but you never looked at your phone. You just kept talking and kept talking.
did.
Just remember from now on, whenever you go to McAfee's courtroom, there is always a hot mic.
That's
You can hear
always a
all the
hot mic.
conversations.
Mm, mm, mm. Indeed, indeed. But no, it was a last week. It was a. I was like I said, I was exhausted. I slept Friday and Saturday because doing trial, it's and this trial, of course, it was different. YSL, of course, YSL every day we knew what to expect, but this one coming in, it was a lot of moving parts. And then this was my case. This is
Oh, so you
what
was the lead attorney on
I was
this?
the lead attorney.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So,
all
yeah, I
right.
was the lead attorney on this, and so It's you gotta really be on your toes when you lead attorney. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of listening, seeing everything. Even in that closing, I had to object to some things, approach. You know, um, and I think a lot of those skill sets they picked up from YSL. In YSL we had to we had to watch for every single thing. Because we saw that the prosecutors they'll pull a quick one. You know. And so that wasn't new to this trial either.
Okay. Okay, that's good to hear. And what type, I forgot, what type of law do you practice? I know criminal, and what
hmm
else?
I do civil law too, so I do like premise liabilities,
Okay.
apartment shootings, shootings at businesses, and I do some automobile accidents.
We do automobile. Okay.
hmm
Do you do like somebody suing someone? Those type of
Uh,
civil?
no,
Okay. Okay.
no, I don't do any lawsuits like that.
So when in law school, you can't just do a general. You have to do specific to a particular side, or what kind of?
No, actually, in law school, you don't even. It's no. You decide what type of law you get, but the programs aren't tailored towards just one specific law. It's general,
Okay.
and if there's certain classes that you want to take that's in a certain area that you want to practice, you can. But no, everybody pretty much there's no. Oh, I want to get a criminal law. They put you take all these criminal law classes. No, it's pretty much general, and then you can take the classes you want to take that pertains to the area you want to practice.
Are you only licensed for the state of Georgia, or are you licensed for other states?
The state of Georgia, I'll be licensed in Mississippi in about a week. They're finalizing my application be finalized in less than a week, and I'll be licensed in Illinois.
Okay. Do you do federal cases as well or not?
I'll start. I just started. I used to do federal work. So Bruce is my mentor. So Bruce introduced me to murder, introduced me to federal work, and I was doing federal work for a while. I haven't and then I stopped, but I am starting back to do federal practice this year.
Have you
Also,
ever
have you
done
ever
any
done it?
appeals? Have you ever
Uh,
done any appeals?
No, I don't. I don't do appeal work. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay.
No, I don't do appeals.
All right. Are you willing to take some questions from the audience before I let you go?
Yeah, I'll take a few.
All right. All right, guys. You guys ready for the questions? All right. Yeah, he just answered that, Toria. She had asked, she was wondering if you were doing other states. Are you planning on doing other states other than Mississippi?
Mississippi, Illinois, and Florida.
Mississippi, Illinois, and Florida. Okay. All right. They are asking, are you married?
I'm not married yet.
Next question. How is Mr. Nichols?
Mr. Nichols is doing good. I spoke with his wife earlier today, and she was telling me that he's been transferred. He's settling in where he's in the camp he's at now, but he's doing well. He's ready to get home though. He's
So how long
absolutely
will he
ready
be
to get
there?
home.
Do you know?
I
When
don't know.
so when will he be eligible for parole if they want
I think that Mr. Nichols will be eligible for parole within the next 9 to 12 months, honestly. Yeah,
okay,
if
because
my memory serves me correctly.
we've been watching a lot of parole cases and we're trying to get an understanding. In the state of Georgia, you are eligible for parole once you do 1/3 of your sentence, or how does that go?
Well, let me say this because I'm no parole expert, and there
Okay.
are ex-parole attorneys. It depends on the type of charge that you have, whether it's a violent charge or a drug charge. Depending on the percentage that you a sentence percentage of the sentence that you will serve. So, an aggravated assault versus maybe a trafficking charge, right?
Mhm.
Then the nature of the crime determines the percentage that you serve.
Okay,
That
so it's
makes
not across the board, you do 1/3. It's depending on what type of crime, the severity of the crime, and then they'll
and
make a
whether it's
decision.
a right.
Okay, because before they used to do it where the public could watch the hearing. Now they don't allow public to watch the hearing anymore,
Okay.
and I'm wondering why. And I know you don't know why, so I can't ask you that question.
I don't.
All right. What was the most outrageous moment at the on the YSL trial for you?
The day that we discovered about the ex parte hearing, and the judge ordered Mr. Steele to be arrested. That was or the I don't know, outside of the courtroom, the Monetas, when Monetas walked in and
Yeah,
they
I
claimed
remember that.
that he had drugs that wasn't prescribed, that he was trying to sneak in drugs. That was a huge moment. But I think the fireworks was the moment we found out about the ex parte.
Okay. CMT, she's one of my mods who was we were deep into the case that you were on. She says, "Tell us about Sarah. First time working with her?"
Oh no, absolutely no, absolutely not. Sarah and I, we try a lot of murder cases to go together. So a lot of times when you see duos, say Sarah and I are a duo. We haven't. This is the first trial case that we've tried together in Fulton. But Sarah and I, we try a lot of cases in the county, like Jones County. We go to we Macon Bibb County. We go to oh God, what's the we've tried cases in I can't even think. Athens, Clark. Is that what it is? Athens, Clark
Yeah, yeah,
County.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we go to the country. Sarah
So
Sarah used to be a prosecutor about 10
really,
years ago in Fulton County. Yeah, she started off as a prosecutor.
no wonder why she goes so like hard. She's like
Hmm.
no nonsense. She
Right,
don't
no
play.
nonsense at all. She doesn't play at all. Yeah,
Okay,
that's my girl. Right, that's my dog right there. We that's when we go to the south, used to seeing us together. For
okay,
sure.
okay. All right.
Hmm.
So I'm definitely gonna be checking you guys out. So if you see some text from me like, "When's the next case you and Sarah's gonna
Okay.
be?" I'm gonna be up there.
Okay. For sure.
All right, I'm gonna do one more question before we get you because I know you have to take care of your other stuff and you're working hard. So let me just do this last question. Let's see. We got this last question. It says, "How does he feel about lyrics being used?" Because you know they already do that with the next YSL
For
two.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I think that's so. That's the most volatile of our basic human rights. We have a fundamental right of expression, and when we get to a point where the DA's office or the government is prosecuting us for expressions, then we have totally obliterated the Constitution. Right, the Constitution no longer protects us against freedom of expression, and that's what it is. A lot of these lyrics, a lot of times lyrics are not, that they're not, they don't describe in full the backgrounds or the life that we live. We a lot of times we're using it for marketing purposes because we know this is what people want to hear. This is what
Yeah.
sells. So a lot of times that start to prosecute people on things that are not true.
Hmm.
I have a close friend who, he grew up and he rapped about a lot of street shit, right?
Hmm.
But grew up in a middle upper class family, 2 parent household, a dog SUV, and so the what he rap about isn't his lifestyle, but guess what? It sells, and so Lord forbid he gets in trouble in the prosecution to get these records and prosecute him. Here they are prosecuting him based on a lie or just make believe, just or expression that's intended to sell and not to be believed, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that it is weak. It's one of the, it's a weak way of and it's a backdoor way of punishing people for simply expressing themselves.
It's sad. It's sad that I mean, even when social media, they were using social media like crazy in your case. And
Hmm.
how many people get on social media and just like fake stuff?
Yeah,
You
all the
know,
time. We know that's what
all
social
the
media is
time.
known for.
Lies and more lies and lies. People acting like they have big old cars and
Yeah,
standing next to somebody else's car.
for real. Absolutely.
Well,
Hmm.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you taking the time out and keeping your promise with me of coming on to my channel. So
Oh, for
thank
sure. I thank you for having me. I think your followers for staying on and listening. I appreciate the questions. For sure. I look forward to the next time.
definitely, and we'll be following you in your career with the next cases. Now, wait, one more question.
Okay.
YSL. Are you the big getting a whole bunch of cases because of YSL now? Because that was a high profile case.
I wouldn't say that my cases are just overflowing, but I get calls every day, and I do get, and people tell me that they've seen me on YSL, or they'll mention it, or people send me when they send them to me and say he was on YSL, and he's like, oh, I hear you was on YSL, and so I mean, that kind of that's a. I still listen. I tell people all the time, I'm always gonna be a YSL attorney. You hear me? I'll
Okay.
always be associated with YSL. That's in my career, and I'm almost at 10 years. That's the biggest, and that's the biggest case that I've worked on thus far. We talk about it lasting 2 years, and it did, but I learned so much from that case just by being a spectator. And I know y'all that they didn't hear a lot from me, but
Mhm.
I did a lot of work in that case.
But they've seen a lot of you because every time somebody's like, "Who that man in that black, that
Yeah.
gray suit?" Or that you were the fashion individual in there. They would see the suits because
I
you wore those colors.
I had to, yeah, I like to look good for sure.
Well, anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Gardner. It's been a pleasure. I really, really appreciate you coming by and gracing us with your presence.
No
Thank you.
problem. Thank you for having me,
All
Sylvia.
right. Have a good one.
You as well.
Bye bye. All right, guys. How was that? Because he squeezed out some time for us. So I didn't want to be overbearing. Y'all know me. I like to get it done and move out the way. But you guys, I have some interesting thing to talk to you guys about. You guys know yesterday I was supposed to come on and give you guys some 411 in regarding to Sonia, right? Well, I'm going to give you some 411 right now. Okay. All those who's been following the Nesto and Sonia, Nesto's case, but Sonia is a person that has been very, very vocal in regarding to his innocence, right? Well, you guys did get some, I know it's been going all over the place about the state subpoenaing, how do you say that? Subpoenaing or subpoenaing? How do you say subpoenaing? Well, how do you say it? Is it subpoenaing or just subpoena? She got a subpoena from the state, right? Let's just do it that. She got a subpoena from the state asking her to provide all information to them, right? And the information could be gathered from basically them getting a warrant, search warrant, a warrant for not just over. Yeah, but they can get subpoena from the banks. They can get subpoenas from this, subpoena from that, right? So they are at a crossroad because remember I was telling you guys that a lot of things that they had received, they got it illegally because they sieged the vehicle and Mr. Ernest's wife, ex-wife now, vehicle. So now they're scrambling around trying to get more 411 to help them with their case. That's why they were supposed to go to trial real like around January, but now the trial is pushed all the way to June. Don't that remind you of something? Didn't that remind you of YSL trying to buy time to get time to be able to work on a case? They're trying to buy time, y'all. And guess who they're trying to get information from? The person that's supposedly helping Mr. Ernest Williams. Now, isn't that ironic that you're going to try to get more information? The other thing too, or they could try to put her as part of the RICO, because with the RICO, you could just throw everything like it's a pot of soup, and you want to throw everything inside that pot of soup, right? So it's a possibility they're trying to add her on there too, but then they got to figure out a way to get her in there, whether or not, because everything that was done prior to her and him even having some sort of relationship, right? So they're relying on the information from her to see if they can utilize some of this stuff, right? So they subpoena her for some information that they can get themselves from those companies like the T-Mobile, the phone calls, the emails, all that they can get because they're in the system. It's easy for the state to get that, right? So now they're trying to get things that they think that maybe could help her, right? So they sent her a subpoena and made threats about her going to jail if she does not comply and stuff like that. So, her recent email to them, and I'm going to read to you guys the recent email that she sent to them. And guess what? They have asked her to meet up with them this week. They asked her to meet up with them this week. Hold on, let me just get this for you. Because remember, she's supposed to be going to as a grand jury on the 31st because they gave her more time. How is my cat? I don't have a cat. You know what, y'all? Look, Dallas. I mean, not Dallas. Stephanie, look. Do you have a pet? Then one of them is in here. So I guess we're back on that track again. Hold on. He says she needs to learn how to dodge a subpoena from me. Hey, Renette. Oh my God, Renette, do you see all the nonsense they have been spewing out on me? But we're not going to talk about that. But hold on, let me just Where's my mail? Lord have mercy. Okay, me trying to find stuff on emails. It's just like, man. Hold on. I got to pull it up. We won't pay attention to critters that lie. Okay, I got it. 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 Okay. All right. It's all right. It says, "Good morning. Yes, ma'am. The extension is confirmed. INV Bill and Ainsley will send a finalized version of the new subpoena for you today via email. If you would like, we can set up time next week to discuss any further question or concern about the subpoena. We can be available any date, time other than Monday, January 20th. Please let me know if it would be helpful. Thank you. Best regard. Will Wooten," right? Then she sends a message back to him. It says, "Thank you. I appreciate that. Give me time. You give me a time, and when you're available, I'm not working. I can make arrangement for the baby." And then he said, "Miss Durham, would you be available to meet with us next Thursday, January 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m.? Thank you." And then she is meeting with them on the 23rd of January to meet with them to discuss what she has. So that's the update on that, guys. That is the update on GAD. Y'all see little baby saying giving a shout out to Pee Wee Roscoe. We did that. We talked about him being free, did we not? Did we not talk about that? Little baby giving him a shout out, him being free. We talked about it last week, didn't we? You smell fishiness? Well, she's going there with an attorney, so an attorney will be with her. She has an attorney. Yeah, she'll have an attorney. But doesn't that sound like thank you for your views matching the likes? Oh, thank you. Sound like you would be willing to check yourself into jail on Thursday. We have an appointment reserved for you. Oh, stop it, Renette. Renette, stop it. They can't just do that. Renette's so funny. They can't just do that. Only if she does not show up for the what's the name? But I think they're probably gonna try to see what she's gonna say in front of the grand jury, because if she go before the grand jury and it doesn't help them to get a indictment or supersede an indictment, there's gonna be a hold on. What? Hold on now. Why is that playing? Hold on. Thank you for using Global Telling. Hold on, sorry, y'all. My thing is playing for no reason at all. You say you wouldn't go? You wouldn't go? I mean, if they subpoena you have to go. If you get subpoenaed, you have to go. Well, the meeting is not subpoenaed. You don't have to go to the meeting. you don't have to go to the meeting. They need help. It went from submitting email into in person. No, I think I think they don't want something in writing. That's what I think. What do you think, y'all? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? When they want to see them in person. I meant submitting the document in person. Well, she won't have the documents in person because she still has time. They asking for her to, well, they ask her, can you meet at the in person? Is a suspect. Renette says, in person is a suspect. I don't know. I don't know. Well, from what the attorney said, he said never trust any of those. They said never trust those people. Bring your attorney with you. Don't ever go down there without an attorney. It doesn't smell pass the smell test. Don't trust them. Yeah, Coco, I agree. I bet they're going to threaten her with jail time. What, for her to give them information? Which I think. Never trust. That's what the attorney said. Never trust them. Don't go there without an attorney. Don't go there saying running your mouth. Because if you run your mouth, they might get yourself into this world of trouble. Because you know it could be held against you, right? Yeah. So if she does in person, then document not needed. I'm not doing both. LOL. Yep. Ah, bring back YSL vibes, force immunity, making her testify. I don't even know the backstory, and my advice is conference call with an attorney. Exactly. Take my attorney with me, and my answer would be sorry, I don't recall. I wonder why they want to speak to her before the documents are due. Smells funny to me. You know, tall guys. Normally, I don't agree with you with your conspiracy stuff, but today I agree with you, tall glass. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But anyway, I'm gonna end this live. Send a Zoom link. You know, when I didn't go show up to a meeting. You see what they did? They put a warrant out for me. Oh, when I didn't show up for a meeting, they wanted me to come down. Like, nope. The attorney said, "Don't go down there." I said, "Nope, I'm not going down there." So they got mad with me, and then they put out a warrant, and I didn't even know it in a different county, a county. Johnson start talking Tuesday. I'm embarrassed. Why are you saying that in front of everybody? Why I'm saying what in front of everybody? Why will you be showing the Jackie Johnson's case tomorrow? Jackie Johnson case is not tomorrow. It's Tuesday. It's not Tuesday. It starts Tuesday. All right, I'm about to end this live. Tomorrow is a holiday. Yep, tomorrow is a holiday. Martin Luther King's holiday. You're welcome, TT. You're welcome. Guys, I have some good stuff to play for you guys later in a few minutes. I have to rest up. We are snowed in. Oh, another pile of snow. Oh, you're welcome, Renee. Good night. Is TikTok fully back yet, y'all? Is TikTok fully back? Because they had some stuff I did an upload. But thank you, Coco. Thank you for asking my question. You are welcome. Of course, Tall Glass. It's also snowing there, Pamela? Oh, Lord. Is it snowing everywhere? Mr. Gardner and Sarah, if you're here, we like y'all style. Yeah, I do. CMT, we're going to start doing more of their cases. Can't you go live? Oh, I didn't try it. I didn't try going live yet. Earlier, I couldn't go live on TikTok. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see if we can go live. No, you're not able to go live yet. It says still unable to go live. See? We're not able to go live. Y'all in Georgia is gonna get him again with snow and ice this week. Oh, it's gonna get hit. Not snowing here, just cold. It's cold, Mr. Duncan. It's cold here too. No, they cancel our membership. They cancel the membership. Yeah, they're not, look, they're not going live, see? Can't go live. But I can upload videos. Yeah, they're not letting us go live yet. I got a whole bunch of new followers now. A lot of people started following me. Yeah, a lot of people started following me. Yep, Miss Sylvia, I need to know that you are good to go for this. Steen, we'll talk behind the scene, ma'am. You know we got to talk behind the scene. We can't talk up here. We cannot talk up here about that. Trust me, when all of this is over, I will go live and we'll have a discussion about all the stuff that I've been going through. All the stuff that's been going on here. My husband has to wait for phone call to see if he's working tomorrow since he works for the recycling county. All right, y'all. We're gonna get off this live because we don't want to mix up. All right. We're gonna go ahead and do the writers meeting because Steen has got some itchy inquiring mind. All right. I see you guys later. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from another. You guys have a great day. Good night. Night, night.
Thank you for watching the infamous Sylvia channel, where laughter and fun make up our panel. Together we build this digital spree. We appreciate you and our growing family. With mods by our side and chat flowing free in this online space. It's just you and me, we laugh until tears roll down like the rain. In this virtual world, you ease all my pains. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We cherish the moments, the highs and lows, from the latest gossip to stories untold. You're more than a viewer, you're part of the crew in this space of ours. It's all because of you. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign, enjoys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign, enjoys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow.